For years, fans have been asking the same question. Can Silent Hill ever really come back? Well, after a recent hands-on look at Silent Hill F, that whole conversation has shifted. We're not asking if this series is back anymore. We're asking just how high it's going to go.
I mean, let's be real, that is a huge claim to make after only 6 hours of gameplay. But it says everything about the sheer confidence and artistry that's on display here. This doesn't feel like just a comeback for the franchise. It feels more like a total rebirth. And honestly, it might just be stronger than ever.
So how does it make a claim that big? Well, for starters, by completely blowing up our idea of what Silent Hill even is. We're moving way beyond the borders of that one foggy town we all know and love.
Okay, this right here is the game's biggest break from everything that's come before. We're swapping the industrial rust and grime of New England for the natural decay of 1960s rural Japan. Think flowers and rot. It means Silent Hill isn't just a place on a map anymore. It's a psychological state, a personal nightmare that can pop up anywhere.
And this time period, it's not just for show. The developers specifically picked the 1960s to dig into that incredible moment of friction in Japanese culture, that clash between ancient traditions and this brand new tech-driven future that was just exploding onto the scene. That tension is literally baked into the world you're walking through.
And this new setting is home to a very, very different kind of horror. This game is diving headfirst into some seriously mature psychological stuff. We're not just talking about monsters jumping out of the dark here, we're talking about the real and often invisible horrors of just growing up.
The whole narrative is focused on our protagonist, Hanakaco. Through her journal, her thoughts, we get this incredibly intimate look at her deep, deep loneliness. The game basically puts us right inside her head as she tries to navigate this terrifying and isolating journey into adulthood.
And the horror in this game? It's not jump scares. It's the psychological warfare of being a teenager. It's the little cruelties from friends, the confusing way relationships change, the crushing weight of what society expects from you, and of course, the deep scars left behind by a toxic family.
And we get all of this straight from Hinako's own journal, which just makes the horror feel so incredibly personal. We're not just watching her fears unfold, we're literally reading her most private, terrified thoughts. Her perspective and her terror is absolutely inescapable.
So you're in this beautiful but totally grotesque world. How do you even survive? Well, the gameplay is all about constantly managing your resources and thinking strategically, which perfectly mirrors the game's themes of both physical and mental decay.
Right at the heart of combat is this sanity meter, and it forces you into this tense risk-reward decision all the time. Do you stare down the horror in front of you to use a special focus ability for a critical hit? Or do you look away to save what's left of your sanity? Because if that meter drains all the way, that advantage is gone, and you're left completely vulnerable.
Even upgrading your character is this fascinating strategic choice. You'll find these shrines where you can save, but you can also enshrine items, including your precious healing items. You sacrifice them to get faith, which you then use to draw a fortune for a random but permanent upgrade. So what do? Keep the bandage for the next fight or risk it all for a long-term boost?
The combat feels so much more fluid and weighty this time around, and the level design is just fantastic. But, and there's always a but, right? Trying to navigate these super tight, claustrophobic hallways with stamina that refills at a snail's pace and, oh yeah, weapon degradation is back, it can sometimes turn that delicious horror into pure frustration. Alright, so after you've dug into the story and the gameplay, the game still leaves you with this one huge question mark just hanging over the whole experience, basically begging you to dig deeper.
And part of that mystery is just how deep the rabbit hole goes. We're talking about 5 different endings. Your first playthrough is pretty much set in stone, but after that, new paths open up based on these optional stories you can find. And yes, for all you longtime fans out there, a UFO ending is included.
Which brings us all the way back to that mysterious title. The developers have hinted that the F could mean a lot of things. Forte, flower, faith, family. Based on everything we've seen, it really seems like the final interpretation is going to be up to you. So what is the F that defines Hanako's nightmare? The answer is waiting somewhere in the rot and the bloom.